Are you ready? Are you ready for the main event here, bro? Because
The
you
main
know,
event, yeah. Listen,
boy,
listen,
we got to smoke.
listen.
Boy, we
Remember what I told you? I mean, I said on. I don't know if I said it. I think I did say on the show a couple weeks ago how Texas is coming for that crown. Remember I told y'all that. I told y'all that. Listen, listen, bro. I'm telling you, this is the game that I don't know about because people can say Bama Georgia was the game of the no. This is about to be the game of the year. I'm tell you why. Texas has been playing out of their mind all year. Quinn Edwards got hurt. That boy from New Orleans came in and he showed his ass. So y'all can say what y'all want. Listen, here's my thing about the game. Like, listen, I like we talked about the questions that Bama has, especially against Alabama. They went in the Red River Ride. They went in and destroyed Oklahoma.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to Oklahoma, but y'all got y'all ad kicked. Um, Texas is real deal. Texas
Yeah,
is the real deal, especially for that first year in the SEC. Man, they are literally playing like an SEC team, and I feel like this will be a tale of could be a possible rematch in the playoffs. Possibly depends on who wins. If Georgia wins, this could be something. You know what I'm saying? Um, I just think that offense is too dynamic. That Quinn Ewers and where all those guys, this offense is just too. It's too dynamic for me.
yeah.
It's too
Hey,
dynamic. It's too many weapons on this offense. I
so
don't
here's
know.
what here's what I say. I mean, look, man. Anybody else's game, any game that's not South Carolina, I will give you a winner. I won't pick ours, but for the rest of y'all boys, I will pick this. Hey, look here, man. UT, what's happening, man?
Listen,
Yeah, I'm rolling with you, and this is why. This is exactly why. Because of what they have out there on the outside. Because they're able to threaten you vertically down the field, which we saw against Alabama. That is clearly a weakness in this Georgia defense. Hey, and you even saw it against Mississippi State. They are struggling to stop quarterbacks from producing big time days. That they're having real struggles. And after that game, we saw that. Oh yeah, Georgia has real weaknesses, and you think maybe you know what? It's just a big game. Maybe it was just the moment. Maybe they'll move on from that. But they that game and continue to display the same issue that they displayed in the Alabama game. And
mhm.
if any team will take advantage of that and make you pay for it, it's been the team that you've been touting all year. This is kind of why I need you to stand on 10 and tell the folks who you're rolling with. But we'll get to that later. Alabama, Texas for me, bro, has definitely come up and as like you said, they've stolen the crown. At least in my mind, for the regular season,
Oh
they've
yeah, they
stolen the
did.
crown.
They
They
did.
they've looked the best consistently. They've played good teams and they beat them down consistently. They haven't been in a tight matchup yet. They haven't gone the distance with any of these teams yet. Georgia will take them the distance. Let me be very clear. Georgia's not getting blitzed. Georgia's not getting blown out of this game. Texas has all the weaponry to answer any question Georgia has, and I feel confident in that. The only issue I have with Texas right now is Quinn Ewers physically up to the task to play this type of game
If he ain't, the
because
other
he's
boy
coming off.
is. If
It's a
he ain't,
possibility because of that oblique injury, because of the injury he
mm,
had. Not that I don't think he's tough. It's because just literally just because of the
yeah,
injury he
yeah,
has.
yeah.
Being a couple weeks, back into the fold. I mean, luckily you had a game of this past weekend. I ain't gonna say luckily because that, coming back against Oklahoma ain't an easy task either. But
Hmm.
you were able to handle that one and get him in, get him going.
Hmm.
I do worry about his health in terms of how healthy is he for a Georgia defense that is still very much capable of being themselves and having a dominant performance. But to this point right now, we've not seen that for probably a month. We
Yeah,
I think everything's on the table right now.
but I'll say this too. I feel like Texas is the equivalent of what I've been saying, at least for a lot of teams. Having someone that's available when your guy goes out. And I'm not taking nothing away from Archman, none of that, because we know how good he is. We seen the tape, we seen the highlight, but still, he is going to be ready if his number is called. Let's say hypothetically, like Quinn. gets hurt or like something happens during the week and Arch has to come in and play. He's gonna be ready. So I think that's just I feel like that's just something that Georgia has to prepare for because we don't know. We don't know. Um, I think he'll be fine. I think Quinn Ewers will be fine. You know what I'm saying? It's There's never been a moment that he's had. I mean, maybe in the SEC play, but mind you, he's been to the national championship. So I mean, like he
Yeah,
know
he's
about
been to the
that.
playoff, but
He's been
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
playoffs. But I mean, like, eh,
This ain't nothing bigger that he ain't
yeah,
faced before.
yeah, he's already faced
Simply
this,
put,
man. He ain't really worried about none of that. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's like this is a SEC opponent. Like this is much more in terms of your conference. This is so much more meaningful because we're in an era or a time where there needs to be a new number one, a permanent number one. Now, hypothetically, if Georgia comes in and plays like Georgia, then we can solidify and say, okay, Georgia still has to reign into the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? We can just solidify that. But I feel like if Texas goes in and then they play the way they've been playing all year, there's gonna be some question marks. It's gonna be some question marks about
well, for Georgia, if you were to lose to Texas, I mean, because these would be considered good losses. But what does that mean for your playoff hopes? Because now with two losses, it gets very spooky for you because you're probably not going to make the SEC title game at that point.
oh
Um,
no.
you do have more opportunities to get to pick up big wins, but to this point, if I look at your wins, you don't have a great win on your resume if you're Georgia. And I'll look through it right now.
Mhm.
But if I'm not mistaken, I don't believe Georgia has a signature win on their schedule. So
Mhm.
Clemson would be your signature win right now. You
Yeah.
did dominate Clemson, and I'll give you credit for that. But Clemson, I don't believe we believe Clemson is the same Clemson from
No.
years prior.
No.
Even with their number 10 ranking, I just they just haven't played anybody. Um, then you talk about your wins against Tennessee Tech, Kentucky,
Mhm.
Auburn, Mississippi State. Yeah, no, none of that is moving me.
Yeah.
None of that's going to be enough. And it's the same problem you ran into last year,
Yeah.
where you didn't have any big wins and you got to play Bama and you choked it away.
Mhm.
And you got the potential to be looking at the same issue this year because you
Yeah.
played Bama and you lost and you smoked it.
Mhm.
You smoked it, and now you got Texas on the road at that.
So
You got a big task on your hands, big dog.
you
Kirby
do.
Smart.
You
Dang.
do. But again, this isn't the same that applies to Quinn Ewers in Texas. This applies to Georgia as well. Yes, they have their question marks, but this is nothing that they
They've
haven't
been there
really
before.
faced. Yeah, they've been there before, so they're not really worried about none of that. But however, don't underestimate your opponent because them boys is coming. They coming, and then they ready and they prepared. I feel like Texas this year to me in the SEC has been the most prepared team this year. I think Bama overall, to me, is the most well-rounded team, and then Georgia is Georgia. So I mean, like that's just my top three. Um,
We're talking about in conference, right? We're
in
talking about in
conference, we
conference.
talking about in conference, but I'm just saying, I just threw that out to say this is that like Texas is coming. This is a whole different team that we've seen in years past, and they legit, man. I got them boy winning.
You got
I got them
Texas.
boy
I
winning.
got
Yeah,
Texas too.
I got Texas
I
winning.
got I got